Or to live with the family. I think one of the things that make a mother to live with the couple is either be the mother-in-law from the one side or from the husband side is when maybe they have a newborn baby
Okay.
and they need assistance to take care of the baby. So a condition can warrant one of the couple, either the man or the woman, to invite the the in-law, the
Mm-hmm.
one that's available, not the one that is not busy, to please maybe, for example, if I want I tell my wife, okay, my mother is busy, can you please invite your mommy to come and take care of our children?
Mm-hmm.
So condition can warrant that, and through that, the mother-in-law can stay for about maybe 6 months or thereabout. So that's one condition about maybe when there's a
Assist
uh
with the new baby.
yeah, with a new baby, I assist with a new baby. So, and I believe that should be that should be time limited. But some condition, whereas the mother-in-law now came and don't want to go anymore, that is when it's not become a problem. But don't let us talk the problem now. Let us talk the reason why mother-in-law comes.
Thank
At
you very
times,
much.
another thing that may warrant maybe the man maybe walk in a distance. For example, if I work in the United States and my wife in the United Kingdom,
Okay.
my wife can decide that she may not want to stay alone, and that can prompt that, okay, invite someone to keep your company. So our mother can come over and stay with her. So that's another condition when the husband does not live with the wife and they need to invite to keep the company, not to work, not to take care of baby now, to keep the company of the wife or of the partner. So being called. So that's for mother-in-law. But for sister-in-law or brother-in-law, it happens mostly because my sister-in-law may want to come for as a student, for example, and maybe where she gain admission to, that's where I live, and to establish, I can say, okay, live with me just to reduce cost for your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So that can warrant, or if so, it depends, but there must be a reasons that warrant in-laws, that mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, to stay with the couple. But we have no answer. I think the final say is from you now. Should they live with the couple? That's what we want to discuss and brainstorm together tonight.
Thank you
So I
very
think we should
much.
stop there for now so we can hear other people's opinion.
Thank you very
Thank
much. God bless you. That was quite in depth. Another reason said by Sister T is there could be financial constraint. Some people might be wanting to save up, maybe young couples wanting to save up to buy a property, and they decide, okay, let's just stay with your mom if they have the space, the capacity where they could manage for a while. So they decide, okay, let us just stay there and save up until we're able to get our place. So that could also be a reason. Another reason I was looking at is maybe early pregnancy. Maybe you're not even married yet, and you there's a baby in the way, and especially in African culture where you take in before you get married, you are most likely to be sent out of your family house and asked to go and meet your husband or whoever has pregnated you, and you find yourself living with them until you get married or until you have the baby. Things like that also happen. So it could be different varies of reasons. Any other person has any different opinion? Any addition to that?
From my own experience,
Yes, ma'am.
the reason when I first got married, my father-in-law was like, when he was building the house, my husband is the only male child.
Okay.
So when they were building their house, they have already planned that since he's a male, they've already built a place for him that is going to stay there with his wife. And so when we got married, and the first place I found myself was in that house for some few months, or is it up to a year before we now moved out. So one of the reasons too is maybe like in my own case, my father-in-law has already planned that since he's the only man, he should be in the house. So that I think that's another reason.
Thank you very much. It's more or less like an inheritance thing. So this has been built for you to live in. That reminds me, I think I've seen that a lot in movies of the olden days, rural areas where they build tents. So for new couples, they build a tent for you. New couples, they build a tent. So you're all in the community, but you have your own tent there for you. But you're not far away. You're all still together in the same community. Thank you very much, ma'am. Another reason again I looked at is sickness. There could be somebody sick in the family. It could be you, the couple, one of the couple. It could be an aged parent who needs special care, and living far away from the parent or the family member, and it might be difficult to have to look after them. So you might have to come in and live with them, so that you can look after that person that is sick. That could also be a reason for that. Okay, that's that. Now we want to look at, we've now seen some of the reasons why you live with them. We're going to look at how do we survive and all that. Is it okay to stay away from in-laws? That's the dicey one. Is it okay to stay away from in-laws?
Yes, so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Why? What do you say yes, ma'am?
If you stay away from them, you will be more appreciated. But if you stay together, they will always see your weaknesses. They will always see you will always fight. Something will just come, an issue that does not even matter. They will bring up. But when you stay away, once in a while, when you go there, maybe once in 2 months, 3 months, they see you. They will even rush, greet you. How is the life? How is everything? But when you stay with them, you become nothing to them. Sorry for that. So that's my own view.
Thank you very much.
Talking from experience, ma.
I can see, I can tell. Thank you. That you are a plus on the program tonight. Sister T.Y. Brodola, is it okay to stay away from in-laws? What's your take on that?
Hi. Yeah, I think it's best to stay away from in-laws because, yeah, just like the last speaker said, the previous speaker said, I mean, she is not always conducive, actually. It's not always conducive for married couples to stay with in-laws now, because there's this over familiarity
that breeds context.
Yes. So to avoid such and to avoid further problems, it's best one stay away from them.
Thank you very much. The only man in the house, what do you have to say to what the woman said?
Well, I don't want to see it as a form of a debate or as a form of dragging,
It's about your
but
perspective and opinion.
I believe that or the scripture has even make it clear that the man shall cleave to the wife,
And
and
they
there's no
become one
any
flesh.
yes, and there's no any subordinate. But some condition may warrant you to render. That's why I said it depends on the in-law. When it comes to mother-in-law, father-in-law, it's not very good. But when it become as maybe brother-in-law or sister-in-law that you are personally sponsoring to university, and you think that when they are with you, you can guide them through. There's nothing bad there, because what of if your in-law, maybe for example, if my sister-in-law is staying with me and maybe she doesn't have the father anymore, she doesn't have the mother anymore, and she look at me as the father. Should I now say, because I don't want any family to intervene to my marriage, and I don't want her to stay, or I don't want him to stay,
At the
vice
end of the
versa?
day, your family is your family anyway. Your
Uh, uh,
extended family is your family. Your new family
yeah.
is your family.
So that's why. But when it comes to, there's no way. When it comes to mother-in-law or father-in-law, it's not good, because if the mother-in-law will be look at the lapses. For example, if my mother is staying with me, it's all, there's no way even though it's godly, I don't want to know the level of Christianity or the religion. She will be thinking that, okay, there will not be cordial relationship or 100% understanding between herself and my wife. There's no way. Even our own mommy too. It can be reduced. But when it comes to, thanks to all these sister-in-law or brother-in-law that you think, some brother-in-law or sister-in-law, you are even older than them. You are more experienced than them. And the only thing you could use to help them is by staying with you for a number of years. I don't think there is any bad thing there.
Mm.
They can, yeah, obviously they can be doing, the behavior can change, but you have to stand on your own ground that, okay, you are putting them through their future. And you may be their in-law, but you are still experienced than them, you can still advise them. So it depends actually. But when
Thank
it
you
comes
very
to,
much.
okay, all
You
right,
said
thank you.
something earlier on, Badola, that sometimes when mother-in-laws come in or father-in-law or whatever in-laws come in, they come in for a speculated time period to stay. But
Yeah.
then ironically, some of them don't want to leave anymore. For instance, if your mother comes for Umugo to look after your new baby, and then after 3 months or maybe 6 months, whatever time you're comfortable to let her stay, and say, okay, mommy, it's time to go. Mommy say, I'm not going, I'm staying. Why do they do that?
Why you mean, why they don't want to go anymore?
Yeah, in-laws come in and they don't want to go anymore. Maybe they feel comfortable and they're like, I'm staying, I'm not going anywhere.
It happens, it happens. In
Mhm.
fact, as a matter, I have seen a lot of family that the family I know, that the mother, what I say, the in-law, the mother of the wife came to visit them for
Mhm.
all this take care of children,
Mhm.
and after a year, the mother-in-law start business in that community. He doesn't want to.
Business long.
He doesn't. Yes, and he doesn't want to leave the house again. No, that was what led to the broke of that home. The husband relocate,
Wow.
left them, go and marry another small wife in another place, because where command is coming from is now a two place. Where even when the husband want to correct the mother of the wife will just say, okay, do like this. You must not agree like this. You must not agree like this. All these
A
things.
lot of control
So
and manipulations.
a lot of, yes, a lot of that. So the real sense is that it's not good for a father-in-law or mother-in-law to stay above their normal time. 6 months, a year. Anything above that is abnormality, honestly speaking. It's
Thank you very
abnormality.
much. Okay, so now they are there. I'm just going to wrap up on this one and then I'll go back. They are here already. They don't want to leave. I have a friend here also. The mother came to visit, and where they were staying wasn't so big, and the mother wouldn't go back to Nigeria. She tried everything. Mother said, "I'm not going anywhere," and it was so uncomfortable. At the time, she was not working. It was only the husband that was working, and they have 2 children. So with the mother, it was extra baggage for the poor man. And the mother ended up staying for like 4 years from just visiting. And in such a case, how do you handle it? How do you say, "Mommy, go"? And at the same time, you want to be empathetic. You don't want to be rude, but there's a strain on your marriage. There's a strain on your home. How do you handle it? Anyone at all? Sister Taiwo, you are experienced. How do you handle mommy and daddy who don't want to go
I'm not
fire,
experienced,
still
ma.
white?
I think
Depends on the
I know
man.
Tatawo is experienced to share the experience, but in a normal sense,
Oh, sorry.
the wife should tell her mother to leave. In a normal sense, if it is my mother, I will tell my mother to leave, because my wife will not control, or will not want to talk to my mother. In fact, I may see it as a rudeness. Even my mother will want to capitalize on it. That's my mother. I will tell my mother to leave. If it is the mother of my wife, the wife is in the best position to tell her mother to leave if they want peace in the home. But an educated parent too, we know that it's not good to come and interfere to the affairs of his children home. It's not good. An educated children. But
Thank
what
you
in
very
here,
much.
if it is more than that, I try to get jagu.
But then, are you going to bundle them out? You're going to bundle, wrap them up, just start
You need to go. You need to go spiritual and pray.
and pray. Thank you. Thank you
Of
very
course,
much.
you need to go spiritual and pray.
That the Lord will touch their hearts.
Yes, and they will live.
Thank you very much,
Because
Badola.
when I told you that we were staying because they've already built an apartment for us.
Mm-hmm.
So that in that situation, I tried to convince my husband that we need to go out and rent our own house accommodation. Even when we went out later to rent our own accommodation, there was a time that my mother-in-law was sick and they had to bring her to my place. So in that situation, when she was sick, she was in my place, I was taking care of her. When she became okay, my husband was like, let her see, she has to still stay so that she will get back her, her health.
Energy, everything.
In that situation, I can't say that, no, your Omonda cannot stay here. What I did then was and I thank God later on, the woman became very friendly and even was so helpful to me. Sometimes when I go out to work, I'm coming back, she would have cooked down. Sometimes when we don't have water, she would have tried to fetch water down. She was so helpful. When it got to a certain stage and she saw that I was helpful too, when she was sick. And at a point in time, it was the children that came to pick her. So what am I trying to say? It depends on the man. When we were staying in the apartment that the parents made for us, I convinced my husband, let's move out. If you want me to be free, this marriage is just starting. So it was after some few months that we had to move out. In that situation,
so altogether,
we are the one
you were in this house for how long?
We were there for about 3 months.
Oh, that's not bad.
And it was getting to a situation where the mother would be saying, they were expecting me to come out from my own apartment to come and sweep the compound. Me that I will be getting ready for work in the morning. When I was even pregnant, and the mother was, when I had to go there, they will be telling me that all those things.
Wow.
So the best thing is, like I said, is to avoid these in-laws. Like the other lady said, that to avoid over familiarities. So I discovered that when I was staying alone, she was even longing for, Taiwo, where are you now? You are not even coming to visit me. But when you are staying with them, you become nothing to them. You become
Sister
which
Taiwo, at
is
the point when your mother-in-law was sick and you were looking after her, how long was she with you till she left?
she was with me for almost a year.
And but when it was time to leave, she left amicably? No, you didn't have to force her or anything?
I didn't have issue. Even it was the daughter that came to pick her that they need to be going for an appointment to see the doctor. And I thank God that before she died, we don't have any crutches.
I don't
made
get
sure
it.
that
So was it like a trick, like let's go and see doctor, and then they didn't return her to the house or what?
no, she because they have appointments. She has appointment to be going to see the doctor, and she has some tests that she'll be doing. So, and
Okay.
this daughter is a nurse. So she came, not at the time they brought her to my house, the sisters were having issues. My mommy cannot stay with me. I don't have time. I'm going to work. The other one say, mommy cannot stay with me. I have children. I'm going to taking care. So since my husband is the only man, he decided that, okay, let my mommy come to me. But what I like about my husband is that he called me and he told me that mommy will be staying with us for some time. And I appreciated that, because if it's my own mother too, I won't say that I will not take care of my mom. Yeah, so she came to stay with us, and I was taking care of her. But when it got to a certain stage, that the thing was becoming too much for me, my husband now decided that, okay, let's take a housemaid that will be helping you.
That helps a lot.
That helps a lot. So I think that 1 year it was not easy, but I thank God for God's grace. So it also depends on you and your husband too.
Thank you very much. God bless you, ma. Okay, let's look at another one. We were looking at, is it okay to stay with your in-laws? Another. My take is this: before you say no to them, at any point in time, maybe they want to come, you say, no, I'm sorry, you can't come, you can't stay with me for whatever reasons. I would say one has to express empathy for their perspective, try and understand why they want to come and give them good reason, be understanding. Let them know your reasons and be genuine about it, not just because you're avoiding quarrel. That's not a good enough reason. And where they are coming from, acknowledge their feelings as well. And this sets a tone of respect and understanding, between both parties, making them, to be more receptive to your viewpoint. And having said that, we know that we will always have difficult in-laws. We don't have a choice. We will have difficult people, but then we can only try our best and be understanding and explain things to them. That's all we can do, really. And from what you all have said, I also concur to that about staying, how long to stay or not to stay, or to, the best thing is to let it be on visiting level. It brings a lot of honor and respect. If on any occasion you want to be with your in-laws house, or maybe you being there is difficult, you have to find a way out, like Sister Taiwo has said. You have to speak to your partner and hopefully they'll be understanding. And if they are being difficult, you do what Brother Ola said, which is pray. Talk to God to touch the hearts of all the people involved, so that there will be peace in your home. Remember, we said 70% of people who lived with their in-laws said that it ended up breaking the home or bringing a lot of conflict in their marriage. So you want to avoid it at all cost. And it is perfectly fine also for you to give excuses, why you don't want to be around. Your spouse and your kids can be there without you if you want to visit. If you don't want to be there, you give them a good reason why you don't want to be there. Maybe for Christmas holiday, for whatever. Your kids can be there, your spouse can be there. But give them good reason, with love, with respect. Send a gift. Send your Christmas gift or your whatever gifts to them. But sorry, I won't be able to join you people at this time. I'm gonna be here. And at some point they will understand. Or just leave that our wife or that our husband. She doesn't want to come to the family. They'll come to understand that and just respect your absence. And then respectfully, express yourself, really. But in everything we do with the in-laws, we have to be very careful. We have to say no respectfully without any ambiguity. Communicate these decisions to everyone involved. Let your husband have understanding, or your wife. This is my decision and this is the reason. And I will expect that your partner will also understand why you choose or decide to run things the way you want to run it. And that helps everybody along. Now let's go to the tough one, because whether we like it or not, at some point we will find ourselves living with in-law for whatever reasons. So my question is, how do we survive living with the in-laws? What are the things we need to look at for survival? Anyone out there wants to help me with that? What do we do to survive while we are living with them? TY, Sister Taiwo. I don't know if people are having problem connecting tonight. On Facebook, Sister Judith said, as for me, it's best to stay away. And Brother Dami says, all couples should be allowed to have their private time together. And that's one of the things I have written down, that even if for any reason you're living with family, you should have private time, private moments where there will not be interferences from anyone at all. You have your moment. Maybe they know that at this time of the day, don't disturb them, don't go and wake them up, let them be the one to come out by themselves. If it's a big family where they do have morning devotion and all, and the couples don't feel like coming out for morning devotion, don't go and be banging their door like, wake up, wake up, wake up, come for. They're not in their parents' home anymore. Give them that space. Let them have their private time together. And then Brother Damilola says, but with your in-laws constantly around, you may no longer be able to spend quality time with your spouse at home, and it is their home you are living in. So you have a hard time telling them to give you time alone. And then he also concurred to what everyone has said, which is too much familiarity can breed contempt. Thank you very much. Let's please on Facebook, let us share, get more people on board to share their view and opinion. I think there's more comments here. Sister Tessie says, one of the things you need to put in place if you have to live with in-laws, it could be brother, uncle, whoever. In-law is in-law. Whatever the reasons why you are there, you are there. And Sister Tessie says you need to apply a lot of patience to be able to survive. You need to be calm, and then you need to talk less. I like the part talk less, because when you are in family, you see, because I do that a lot. I just embrace everybody and I trust everybody, and I believe this is not my sister or my brother-in-law anymore. This is my blood. And then you just feel comfortable and just talk and express yourself as much as you can. But at the end of the day, you might be shooting yourself on the feet. No matter how much love they show you, remember they are still your in-laws. They are not your blood. So you have to talk less. Watch what you say. Because what you say, thinking, oh, I'm talking to my sister, I'm talking to my brother, can be used even against you later on. So one has to talk less if you are living with in-laws. Be calm, be patient. Any other addition to that from anyone? What are the things we need to put in place to be able to survive while living with in-laws? Sister Taiwo?
You need the wisdom of God.
It takes the wisdom
Because-
of God.
Because it's wisdom that I used that time when my mother-in-law was with me, so that I will not have issues with my husband. Because sometimes when my husband comes back from work in the evening, the first thing he goes to his mother is Chetty Jam. And I'll be like,
You mean
what type
Paul?
of question is that? What do you
Or are
mean,
you starving
Chetty?
her?
So I think it takes the wisdom of God to live with these people. Because sometimes you can't, if you say that you will not, you don't want to live with them, you too, you will think that I have my own children too. And whatever I do, that is what I will receive. So that's what comes to my head sometimes, that I have a son too. Will I like it when my son is, you
Mm.
know, misbehaving to me because of his wife? So what I do is I just pray to God to give me the grace to be able to take care of this woman as I'm supposed to take care of her.
So it's
And
very important to remember karma.
yes, I tell you, it's very, very important. So what you don't want, you don't, because when it comes to the time that you cannot do without, maybe your husband says that my mother is sick, she's coming to stay with us, and you don't have choice, and you allow this woman to stay with you. Because at that time I didn't have choice. I cannot say your mom cannot stay with me because I
Mm.
have my mom. So if my mom is sick, will I say that I should neglect her? So I think I used wisdom then, and I was really happy because when this woman was about to die, I can boldly say that she was really happy with me. Even after her death, I would say that she appeared to me. I was happy. I didn't have, my conscience was not judging me that I didn't treat her well. So I think
Mm.
what we need to do is to be able, when we cannot avoid staying with them, then we need the wisdom of God to be able to relate between these people and your family. So that's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Big Chief, I see you there, sir. God bless you.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir. One of the things I see again is this: if you're living with your in-laws, you have to also think of sharing the cost of living. That helps a lot, and it also shows that you are not taking them for granted. Now, it also depends if it's a house that's been built, you cannot share, you pay rent with them or say, let me contribute. Even if they tell you no, don't worry, we've got it. I believe personally that you should be able to maybe once in a while buy fruit when you are going home from work, buy things you know that's useful in the house. Don't say, my brother will not take it. My brother is a rich man. My brother's wife does not mind. They mind. They may not say it to your face, but show appreciation by not going home every day or at the end of the month when you take your salary. Also do something within the house. And then again, help with the house chores. Don't wait, sir. Your brother's wife is not your house help. Neither is your sister's husband, therefore to do your errands. So help with the chores in the house, where you can, eventually the room you are, at least tidy or clean it. You don't expect them to come clean your room for you. In the house, the living room, the common places, assist. Let your contribution be felt in the house while you're living with your in-laws. It's not going to be forever. So for the period of time, if it's your house, you clean it, you do stuff. So also do it with them. The third one is communication. In everything in life, anyway, we need communication. So communication is key. If there's anything you're feeling, don't assume, just talk. But everything with respect. Respect your brother, your sister, respect their spouse, respect their children, respect their space. Even as a mother, if you are a mother-in-law in the house or a father-in-law, I'm sure fathers-in-law will rarely come and stay. If a man comes to the child's house and stay for one night, usually in our culture, it's rare to see that. But so it's more of siblings, my auntie, sister, nephew, nieces, and mothers that stay most of the time. And for whatever reason, you must communicate whatever feelings. Do not assume anything. Talk to the person that is your brother or your sister. But if you have a relationship with the in-law, your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law, still talk to them. But always remember to respect them. And then there will always be conflicts. Let's not deny that. Even among couples, we fight. Children fight each other, siblings, brothers and sisters. We always have conflicts. But the beauty of it is to resolve it as quickly as possible. And don't let it escalate. Don't take it back to and begin to call other extended family who are not living with you at the moment to begin to tell them, this is what my brother wife did. Come and see what brother did. I went to brother's house and the wife was giving me one meat and all those things. No, you're just going to make things worse. Keep whatever the conflict is within the house, talk about it, and move on. And then also there has to be a schedule of private time within the family. There will always be big family gatherings, but always respect, okay, maybe by 9 o'clock, they like to watch TV. That's not the time you want to come and sit in the living room and say you two want to read book or you want to do something. Give them that space and just excuse them. And always remember plan B. Okay, I'm here. I think I'm overstaying my welcome. Let me find plan B and leave this place. It is very, very, very important. Big Chief, do you want any advice on living with in-laws, sir?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, it's what can you do? With the part of the world we come from, we have no choice but to live with them. So we must provide a way of living with them. We cannot be too different. How would I put it? Curtis Jackson said, when they were dreaming of getting rich, we forgot about entitlement. And entitlement is from your loved ones. So you must know how to manage your in-laws. I like in-laws. I prefer in-laws to live, personally, in my opinion. If you look at the Bible, Lot lived with Abraham for almost 30 or 50 years. But you must come to a point where you know where the arrowhead in the family is, and everybody will align to the visions of the family. If the in-law or the sibling has a different orientation, then it's a different matter. That's where the conflicts come. So I listen to what you're saying. Most of us here are Africans, so we are scared of living with the in-laws. It's a good thing to live with the in-laws, but you need to have the same blueprint of where you're going. Then you see where the energy is. That's what I think. But because we have different things, maybe when you were marrying the woman, your people do not like the woman, or when you were marrying the man, the people do not like the man, and
there were issues already before the marriage itself.
Thank you. So some people still have those issues, and that's on the bad side. On the good side, no matter what your in-law do, if you're not careful, you won't see it right because you're over defending your own person. That is another problem again. When you're over defending, why are you giving my brother 2 meat? Is he not the owner of the house? It becomes a problem. You're thinking you're loving and protecting the person. So we have to know each other's boundaries and all that. It's a simple thing. We just make it hard.
Yeah. Talking about boundaries, what are the boundaries we can set? Now, I know with mothers, it's a different ball game, but still,
more than a serious talk, mother.
Mother are the gold.
That is where the inventing is.
The gods. But still, there has to be boundaries put in place.
Yeah.
Even if it's your brother, your sister, or your mother, what are the boundaries that we can put in place? Thank you, Brother Ola. I know you have to go to another meeting. God bless you for your contribution. Thank you so much.
Okay. The boundaries, my conversation always, I try to touch the root cause. The root cause is if you get into a union and you get into marriage, I think you should see the woman's father as your father and the woman's mother as your mother. The same way the woman should see your parents as her parents. If not, it's hard to live together. Once you can achieve that, you won't worry too much about boundaries. You understand? You just adjust, you just gravitate in the same direction. But since we don't achieve that, we have many other things to worry about. Yes. We have many other things to worry about. Yes, you could put boundaries. If the man of the house is the security chief, is the security chief. If he thinks that I want my door to be locked by 9 o'clock every night, the door has to be locked. Even if his mom is there, or his wife's mom is there, the door has to be locked. So those are boundaries you can put, but you cannot restrict people too much. Just try to give a little bit of the blueprint. Let everybody adjust to the blueprint in their own way. An example is a quick example. My brother was telling me about his wife's brother who lived with them. The guy was so good that when the brother of the
can't hear you properly, sir.
When the guy that was living with him was so good that he was even arguing with the wife to keep the boy in the house instead of to drive the boy. That is his in-law. He is fighting to defend the in-law. It's the same like Joseph and Potiphar. Potiphar was so loyal that Joseph was so loyal to Potiphar that Potiphar will adjust the temperature of the house for Joseph. If you see that loyalty and somebody aligning to the blueprint, we won't have this conversation. Everything will just gel properly. That's the way I say it. Most times we have rebellion within that we don't want to talk about. It's the rebellion that is making us thinking about boundaries and all that. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much, Big Chief. Anybody wants to add to that? Setting boundaries, and what are the type of boundaries we can put in place while we're living with the in-law or the in-laws are living with us? Which boundaries can we put in place to protect our home, our hearts, our emotions, and all the what have you? Anyone at all on Facebook? You want to type it? You want to say it? What other boundaries can we put in place? And another thing I know for we women is the kitchen. We have issue with the kitchen. Don't touch my pots. Don't open my pots of soup. The one that cooked the soup, I have to be the one to dish it for you. So if you have any issue with the kitchen, I believe you need to speak out, communicate it respectfully and nicely. You know, I do the cooking in the house. I would love to dish it for you. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel respected. Okay. And whoever is coming into the family also should know that my brother's wife who does not like people going into her kitchen or messing it up or even dishing her soup. So if just respect her, that's what she likes. But if you are like, no, it's my brother's house, you cannot tell me my brother is well to touch or what not to touch, there will be conflict. So I think it's mainly based on lots of respect. Sister Tessa says, no, don't touch. But that, okay, I think don't touch the soup. But as the woman, make things easy. I don't understand, Sister Tessa. Not don't touch, but as the woman, makes things easy. I'm confused. Help me out, ma. Any other addition of boundaries? What boundaries can we put in place? Big Chief said something as the alpha in the house, the husband in the house likes his door locked by 9 o'clock. So everybody needs to know that. So all about respect, communication here. And then we also have to be flexible. Your brother-in-law who's living with you at the time could be somebody coming from work, and then get stuck in traffic and they get in by 9:30. Are you gonna say you can't come in, the door is locked? You can't say that. So in all the boundaries, also one has to be reasonable but flexible. And the person that is coming in late also should be able to call that, I'm sorry, I'm running late, but I'll be home very soon. You know, communication, respect, they all work together. Satesi says, if I cook, I should make it available in a way that nobody goes to any pot. Okay. So probably as the woman, maybe you dish it out or put it in a container so nobody has to go into your pot to avoid the issue of you go into my pot, you're taking my soup. Okay, that is looking for a way to make things flexible for everyone in the house, if I understand you. Thank you very much for that. Then we want to look at, and she further says, so that I won't be angry. For example, I put the soup in a container that you can pick and warm up. Hey, thank you very much. Then TY says, house rules could be put in place and must be adhered to except for unseen circumstances. Thank you all for your contribution. The cons of living with in-laws, the disadvantages. Remember we said there's about 70% on the survey that was carried out that says the living with in-laws caused a lot of conflicts and a lot of friction within their marriage. So what are the cons? One of which is there is no privacy. You lose a lot of your privacy. You cannot run around the house naked. There's a limit to the noise you can make because you consider there are other people in the house. You can, if you like to play your music loudly, you can't do that. You can't, it limits a lot of that. Privacy, yes. privacy is a big one. Any other one from anyone at all? Disadvantages of living with in-laws. Apart from privacy, what else do we have?
Maybe sometimes we need to seek their consent for some things in the house. Maybe sometimes, not every time. But you don't just make decision. Sometimes you need to just bring it to your decision that there are people living in the house.
To be
So you
considerate.
don't, yeah, considerate. That's the word.
Thank you very much. Any other addition? You can type it if you cannot speak it. If you are maybe young couples who like to party in the house and their partner is okay with it, but while you're living with your in-law or they're living with you, you can't do that. You can't party, come and party with me. No, you can't do that. You have to be considerate. And your partner may be cool with it. Your in-laws might see it as like, what's she doing? What's he doing? This is wrong. This is not right, you know. And there's going to be a lot of judgment in quotes concerning your relationship. There's going to be like a micro, like a big lens monitoring you, watching you. How is she cooking? How is she dressing? Your partner might be cool with you, calling them some beautiful, lovely names. Your in-laws might be like, no, that's disrespectful. You cannot call my brother that. You cannot call my sister that, you know. So, but at the moment where they are with you, you have to be careful. And you need to also be able to express your dislikes. If anything comes up, put your feet down and say, no, this is not happening. This is the way this has to go. Putting your feet down also does not mean being disrespectful. That is very, very important. And there's too much unsolicited advice from in-laws. I know somebody who can advise you from the moon today. Like, don't wear that cloth, that is too pink. No, that is not right. But that food, don't put too much salt. The salt is too much. Yes, just a little salt. You are putting too much oil in the soup. You're going to get frustrated, like, waiting now, leave me. This is the way I want to cook it. So there's going to be a lot of unsolicited advice. You cannot carry the baby like that. You are the man of the house, you know, you this is the way you have to dress. A lot of unsolicited advice. You will have that. But then how do you deal with it? Thank you for your advice. I'll look into it respectfully. Doesn't mean you have to take the advice. Thank you for your advice. But then when it gets to the point where you're getting frustrated, you're beginning to have pent-up resentment or anger, then you need to speak to someone, maybe they are part of the family, somebody you know that can talk to them to slow down on their advice. That's all you can do. Then let's not also forget the place of prayer. So if somebody is being on your neck and is frustrating you, talk to God about it. He's the one that controls the hearts of kings. So there's no one God cannot minister to. Another thing is you don't get to cook, clean, and decorate your home the way you like. There are certain things you want to put in certain places, but because you're living in their home, you can't do that. You are limited. But remember, even your limitation is for a while. So bear it until God blesses you with your own place, and then you can do it the way you like. You can't tell them how to decorate their own home. You just have to buy time until you are established. Another one is interferences on how you should raise your child. That is a big no. But then it will happen. They will come around and advise you. Nobody has a manual for how to raise a child. So advice will come. How do you say it? How do you take it? It's what is important. So all is, oh, thank you. Oh, really? That's the way I should do it. All right. Okay. Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, my brother-in-law. Oh, that's a wonderful advice. A lot of diplomacy has to be in place. A lot of diplomacy. And even when you're feeling like saying something nasty, just breathe or take a walk. Just take a walk. Take a walk from the scene if you're getting tensed up. We are human. So if you're getting tensed up, just take a walk, for the moment. Any additions, anyone at all in the house? Anybody wants to chip in? Brother Olawale, God bless you, sir. Anybody wants to add anything to living with in-laws? Is there any comment on Facebook? Oh, okay. Brother Damilola said it's also important to consider the reasons. 2 seconds. Okay, to consider the reasons that they may be moving in with you and whether it's a long-term decision or a short-term one. And if for any reason, the long time is not going to work for you, speak out before they move in. Express that I'm sorry, if you're going to stay for 3 months, okay, that's fine with me. But if you're going to stay for 1 year, I cannot. I cannot. Just say it out. I can't. And this is the reason why I can't. Now, they may be angry with you. They may call you names. They may gaslight you. It's okay, but you're protecting yourself. You're putting a boundary for yourself and for your family. And then he further says, if you live with your in-laws, you need to set healthy boundaries like knocking. If you want to come into my room, knock. If you want to come into the toilet, knock the door. Respecting privacy. Entering the bedroom, entering the kitchen, knock the door. Be sure nobody is in there before you come in. Not interfering in arguments. If I'm having an argument with my spouse, do not put your mouth. So at some point, you might even have to call meetings. This and this is what works in my home. So for as long as you're going to be here, this and this are boundaries in place. So if you work with that, then we're not going to have problem. Not interfering in parenting and so on. And it will keep the experience of living with one's in-laws pleasant. So which still all boils down to respecting each other anyway. But Adamlola further says, you may see that your spouse is getting into arguments with their parents, like discussing some latent childhood issues or patterns, but don't get involved in this delicate situation. Don't get into those family arguments. Just don't. It's like, don't even go near. For instance, your husband is having an argument with the mom concerning something that happened in the family. It's not your business. Oh, the only thing you can do is maybe sign language or body language to tell your husband, like, it's okay, calm down. It's okay, calm down, leave mama alone. But that you want to put your mouth and you have opinion, don't. And afterward, you can talk to your spouse like, that was a little bit harsh on mom. Take it easy with that. What has happened has happened. Let bygones be bygones. That you can do, but never go near it. And then, but Adamlola finally says, kitchen, women and wahala, na 5 and 6. Like, don't go to a woman's kitchen. Just leave that kitchen aspect out of it. If you don't want trouble with a woman, leave her kitchen alone. But Olawale says, calling a meeting might let me see. I think there's a couple of chats here on. Okay, people are bombarding me now. Wait. TY says there has to be house rules, and that could be put in place and must be adhered to, except for unseen circumstances. Okay, I think I've seen that. But Olawale says potential for conflict of interest in their own, owing to differences in lifestyle. Even with just you and your husband self, you're having conflict on interest and differences in lifestyle. How much more will you now have more people in the house? So respect, boundaries. I'm still saying that communication. He further says it might not be ideal to call a meeting as it could potentially stir up issues. A better approach could be for the partner whose family is living with the couple to have a conversation with them in compassionate and understanding manner. Yeah, that's okay. See, the same thing. You speaking with your family, you're calling a meeting with your family. Your wife or your husband doesn't have to be there. So your family are the ones staying. So you need to call a meeting with them and speak to them on how to do things better in the house. It is still a meeting. The moment you're talking to 2 or 3 people, or 2 people are coming together to talk about an issue, I'll still call it a meeting. Sister Tessie says, in all of this, the heart of a man is desperately wicked, and who can know it? So prayer has to be put in place. Big Chief said, be free, see your father-in-law as your father, see your mother-in-law as your mother, see your sister-in-law as your mother. But at the same time, the heart of a man is wicked. Who can know it? So in everything, tread carefully, be cautious in what you say, in how you deal with them. And you might even end up finding difficult people that no matter what you do, they'll say gaslight you, they'll say bad things about you, they will never be satisfied with what you do. They'll even when you're being nice and being generous, they will say, he has finished spending all our husband's money. Oh, she's so pompous. And then, people are, our heart is desperately wicked. So in everything, be careful, be cautious. Pastor Stephen says, taking it to the throne first, paramount. Prayer is the first step. And now I'm gonna say something here, like what Pastor said now. Maybe somebody says, oh, they want to come and stay with you for a while. Talk to God about it. And if you do not have a clear, what's the word now? In your mind, in your spirit man, you do not feel comfortable 100% for them to come in. You feel something is wrong. I don't think God wants us to have these people around. Don't be sentimental about it, because you might regret it later on. If you feel the Holy Spirit is telling you, do not take these people in, then do not take them in. It's better they gaslight you, they say bad things about you that you didn't allow them to come in, than for them to come in and destroy your home and destroy things. Because you do not even know the purpose why they are coming in. They can tell you because they're going for an interview or whatever excuse, but the real intention, you do not know it. So be very, very careful. Talk to God about it. But Olawale says, micromanaging you to speak an unnecessary interference. Those are the disadvantage in having in-laws around you. And then furthermore, Pastor Stephen says expenses can go up. I never even thought of that. That's true. Expenses can go up beyond agreed terms, like eating, gas, electricity, especially where we live. When you have more people in the house, more water is being used, you have to pay for that. More food has to be bought. You might be more responsible for it. And that's why I said people living with you also must be considerate to bring something to the table as much as you can for the time you are there. Remember, if you were living on your own, you will look after yourself. So don't take the peace. Don't abuse the comfort you have for that time. Which am I missing? Emotional. TY says emotional exhaustion. For example, one would have to smile even when one feels like crying. Funny though, but it is true. You're not in a good mood. You just want to suck it in, or maybe your partner has upset you. But then when the external family comes, you have to like pretend all is well and all that, and that can be quite exhausting. I understand that. Thank you for that. Sister Tessie says, if nothing is wrong with family being together, then it's no big deal. But then there's always something wrong in it. But Olawale says, it might not be ideal. Okay, I think I've read that one. Okay. What else am I missing? I haven't missed anything so far, so good. Wow, thank you all very much. Anybody wants to add any contribution to this? Add anything before we wrap it up tonight?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Evening. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting topic, and I can say from firsthand, it is not easy. until you're in it, you can't explain it. It's easy to, say how things should be, how things could be taken when you're not in it.
Hmm.
When what do we say? When you wear the shoes, you know where the
Where
shoes
it
hurt.
hurts. Hmm.
And I mean, I'm speaking from experience. There was a point in time when I was newly married, and I think at the max there was 9 of us living together.
Oh, wow.
Newly married, well, not newly married, 2 years into our marriage, and a baby. And all these factors, brothers, cousins, sister, all living on under one roof.
Wow.
One thing we were talking about there, and I think somebody has mentioned it, is the stress involved. Okay, the stress on it doesn't matter whose people they are. It really doesn't matter. And to a greater extent, from what a lot of the discussion we've had tonight so far is shown that the onus is on the man to take charge, to draw out the boundaries, to lay out the boundaries and maintain them. Now, that's easier said than done. If you haven't discussed them prior to, it is not easy to apply once they're in. So I think, and I believe that in getting into a relationship with your partner prior to someone coming to the house, and I thank you, ma'am, that you said it earlier on, have the discussion. Please have the discussion with each other before they come. And if there's a leading in your spirit as people that are of God, that are in tune with the Holy Spirit, say no. Say no. And like you said, Sister Dupe, let them gaslight you. Save your own sanity rather than,
Yes, sir. Very
save your
important.
marriage rather than pleasing other people. Because at the end of the day, they might still find somewhere to go anyway. Look, they're going to talk about you whether you do, you don't. They're going to gaslight you whether you do, you don't. They come into your yard and start running their mouth in front of you, behind you, whether you do or you don't. So save your own sanity, save your own marriage. Agree together. And if you do agree together, stick to the plan together. Have a plan, have a get out time, put restrictions in place and adhere to the restrictions. I say it again, you don't know how stressful, especially if you're the man of the house and your wife has to bear with everything and everyone. It is not a joke. And then on top of that, we will expect her to give us a nice, good Humpty Dumpty. And when she doesn't, we get all funky. It doesn't work that way. And, we are, as men, as the head of the home, one of our roles, which is so, so important, is to protect our wives, to protect our homes, and to be a God example to all those around us, our wives and our children. One of the reasons why we as men lose a lot of respect from our wives is because we don't protect them. I'm gonna leave it there. That's a topic for another day. But I hope I'm making sense with the fact that if the onus is on us to have both of us, husband and wife, have the conversation prior to that person coming. Have your agreements. If it's not working, whoever's persons they are, have the conversation. I'm talking about this from personal experience, and I know how it almost flipped the script on my marriage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir. Thank you very, very much for that contribution. And we've heard it from people who have not experienced it. We heard it from people who have experienced it live and direct. And it still boils down to 2 or 3 things: respect, communication, and setting boundaries, and prayer. That's for praying about it, communication, respect, and boundaries. And for whatever reasons, because life happens. So whatever reason you find yourself in that situation, guide yourself, guide your heart, guide your sanity, protect your family at all costs. And what my brother said there lastly, protect your home. As a man, as a woman, protect your home. It does not matter if it's your wife's family or your family. Protect your wife. It will save you a lot of trouble. It will save your home. It will save your life. Oh, you don't want trouble with your woman. When the family is gone, it's going to be you and your wife, your immediate family that will be left to pick up the pieces. And you don't want to deal with that. So protect it at all costs. Do we have any other addition, contribution, suggestion, observation before we wrap it up? Anyone, any more contribution on Facebook? Brother Damlola is in the house tonight. Your spirit is connected to this topic tonight. And it says, oh, okay, I think Pastor Stephen also said that expenses can go up truly. However, in-laws should know the financial weight of the couples. If not, each partner should inform their family in an heart-touching manner before visiting. Some in-laws planning to stay for a short time might end up turning to Mario, staying than unusual. I feel Mario, no. Sometimes circumstances happened. They could plan or they just want to stay for 1 month. Now, for instance, in England now, a lot of people are coming in from Nigeria and they have to stay with family until they find their footings. So, and they believe within 1 month or 2 months maximum, I will have started working. I will have money to get my own place and move on, you know. And things didn't happen the way they planned. They end up staying 6 months, 8 months, which is a lot of strain on both families and all that. So, you know, situations happen. But even with that, let us respect each other's space and ask God to help each family. You know, you also pray for the family or the person living with you at the moment. If God hears their prayer and sort them out, they will also move out quickly and then give you your space. So while you are praying for yourself, also pray for them, that the Lord will meet them at the punch of their need and help them to move on as quickly as possible. God bless us all. Thank you, Mato Ife thank you all for joining. King David, thanks for joining. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you all on Facebook, been in and out on Zoom. It's been a beautiful night. Thank you all for that. I couldn't have done it on my own. I'm talking to myself like a radio. It's been a beautiful night. I've learned new things, and I believe we've also learned one or two things as well. Until in 2 weeks' time, we're going to come back again with another topic. It's a good night for me, everyone. Love you, respect, and love everyone. Night all.